that come with the nail for the tether swap.
Copy.
Okay, for Anil, with your waist tether down, you're going to retrieve your green hook from the NTA vertical handrail and attach it to your red tether reel.
Work. Locking the green reel. Hook is on the red reel and locked. I'm unlocking the green reel.
Copy. The green hook is on the red reel and the green reel is unlocked. You can then release your yellow hook. You can release your yellow hook from the SSRMS and attach it to the green tether reel, also checking gate and hook.
This is Mission Control Houston, 5 hours, 15 minutes into today's spacewalk. Anil Menon and Sophie Adenot are in the home stretch of today's excursion, the 282nd spacewalk in support of ISS assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. This was the 5th spacewalk conducted out of the International Space Station this year, the 2nd for Expedition 75 crew members, the 2nd for Menon, and the 1st for Adenot, who today became the first French woman to conduct an extravehicular activity. You see Menon with the suit and the red stripes there in the field of view. He has conducted the work today as EV1, or extravehicular crew member number 1. Adeno, alongside him, has been EV2, the unmarked suit, with no visible markings on that suit. Extravehicular crew member number 2. The crew began their spacewalk placing their suits on battery power at 7:29 a.m. Central Time, 8:29 a.m. Eastern Time.
Copy, thanks. And if that long duration tie down,
the major activity for today was the removal of a failed space-to-ground antenna on the Z1 truss of the station. There are 2 such antennas that sit side by side to provide redundancy for high data rate communications through NASA's Tracking and Data Relay Satellite System. The crew ran into some time constraints. It took longer than expected for them to install locking pins on the failed antenna that first encountered swiveling or gimbaling problems to track the TDRS network satellites last November. They also spent more time than had been anticipated in demating electrical connectors on the boom that the failed antenna resided on the Z1 truss. Because it took much more time than had been expected to get the failed antenna removed, the decision was made to tie the antenna down with tethers right there on the truss of the space station in a safe configuration, but not to pursue the installation of the spare antenna that is housed on an external spare parts platform on the Port 3 truss of the International Space Station.
Both reels are unlocked.
So with the failed antenna tied down, future meetings are to be conducted to determine the next set of priorities for the upcoming spacewalk that is planned for next Tuesday. That'll be the 3rd spacewalk of the month of August, the 3rd to be conducted in a 19-day period. We are expecting a couple of get-aheads for the crew as they make their way back to the Quest airlock, the swabbing of surfaces on the outside of the station to collect microorganism data, and an exchange of portable foot restraints out near the Quest airlock.
Nice for both of you on the cleanup steps. And just letting you know, we're about 5 hours and 20 minutes into the EVA. Go ahead, Sophie.
5 hours, 20 minutes. So the last VTV buckle is covered with MLI and 3 helps with the wire tie.
We see that config. Beautiful. So at this time, you can move up to the medium ORU bag, and we'll start cleaning that up.
Okay.
So the bottom line of today's spacewalk is that Menen and Adenot were able to remove the failed space-to-ground antenna. It is in a safe configuration in what is called the long-duration tie-down configuration with tethers on the truss of the station. However, as occurs from time to time during these spacewalks, there were bolts and electrical connectors that proved to be more bulky than had been planned. So it took longer than expected to undo those bolts and remove the electrical connectors to demate them so that the failed antenna could be removed from its boom on the Z1 truss. The net effect, we ran out of time, and so the spare antenna will remain on its stowage platform on the P3 or port 3 truss. It will be addressed on a future spacewalk. There will be some meetings by program officials to determine a set of priorities for the next spacewalk that is targeted for next Tuesday.
And yes, we will take pictures of that angle of the stow. Thanks.
Okay. The excess strap of the forward LDTV, I was not able to put it inside the MLI of the buckle because it was under the agate handle and would have required a whole reconfiguration. So I don't know if you're okay with that plan, but I just put it under another agate handle so that it doesn't fly around.
That is a good config. We're happy with that. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay, APFR cleanup complete on the BRT. I think I would be go for the back off.
Okay, we agree. If you just give one more
copy, we'll get set up for that.
And I'll pass you off to Jessica.
Okay. Nighttime is not the best time to do the pictures, but I did my best.
Now starting motion in 3, 2, 1 with the arm coming station forward away from you.
Copy, starting motion.
And just a clarification, I close the bag with everything in it. I do the HECA scan, and then I put it on my BRT. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, we're happy with that. So you can put that on your BRT.
Okay.
And we can see your scan. So yes. So if you just want to go through everything that's in the bag and show it to us, we will.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay. Inventory metal segment with a scoop on it. The ratchet wrench. Use out the palm wheel. And coming soon, a heat shield, which I need to protect as well.
That's a good inventory, so you can pack that one up and get it on your BRT.
And I'm at the port CETA.
Copy. You'll be showing that in WIF 3 and setting it to low profile, and I have recommended settings.
Okay. Go for settings.
Copy. It is 6 Papa Papa Fox 6. 6 Papa Papa Fox 6. That's that top left WIF.
6 Papa Papa Fox 6. I'm at the top left list.
Copy. And big thing, too, is we want to make sure that the ingress aid is low profile and won't move, so it's tightened up there. And then we'll just get your words on making sure that it's clear of the MT in the POA.
PL.
And for Sophie, once you have that packed up, we're going to have you put that on your BRT, and we'll have you start heading toward the airlock.
The airlock.
Big picture for both of you as you're working your tasks. Sophie, we see you work in the bag, and Neil, we see you work in the APFR. When we're done, we're going to have Neil head down to ESP2, and pick up the APFR that you previously gave us the inspection on, and we're going to have you relocate that to Z1. And for Sophie, you're going to grab that medium ORU bag, and you'll be heading back to the airlock. And we don't have any further tasks, so you can take your time and enjoy the view while you do that.
Working on the bag and airlock.
And can you repeat those APFR settings again?
Yes, 6 Papa Papa Fox 6. 6 Papa Papa Fox 6.
Copy, 6 Papa Papa Fox 6.
For a picture in your mind, the boot plate should be kind of facing toward the MT.
This is Mission Control Houston, now 5 hours, 31 minutes into today's spacewalk. Sophie Adenot is cleaning up her part of the spacewalk paraphernalia that she has operated with throughout the course of today's excursion outside of the Quest airlock. Anil Menon will relocate an articulating portable foot restraint from one of the stowage platforms right outside of the Quest airlock to the Z1 truss nearby, and will join Adenot back in the airlock. We will not pursue a get-ahead task involving ISS microorganism swabs today. That'll be deferred to another day. Once again, the spacewalk today highlighted by the removal of a failed space-to-ground communications antenna that provided high data rate communications through NASA's Tracking and Data Relay satellite system. It has been tied down in a safe configuration known as a long-duration tie-down with a number of tethers on the truss of the station, but time ran out, not permitting the removal and installation of a spare space-to-ground antenna to provide redundancy for the high data rate communications capability on the International Space Station. That work is going to be deferred to an upcoming spacewalk, although the priorities for the next spacewalk targeted for next Tuesday and then other spacewalks to follow have yet to be determined by program management and the flight controllers.
Okay, 6, Papa, Foxtrot 6, X, and Risk 3, locking collar, black on black, good pull and twist test, and it does look low profile. I'm sure you can see it in the HECA.
Copy, that's a good config. So this time you can move back to retrieve your crew lock bag, and you'll go down toward the airlock. You can drop your crew lock bag off and then pick up the APFR.
Okay, going for crew lock, then APFR.
And for Anil and Sophie, you guys are both kind of headed back toward the airlock with the bag. You guys can work out the choreography yourself, but if so, Anil, when you get down there, if you want to attempt stow the bag, and then Sophie can put both bags into the airlock while you relocate the APFR, that may work.
Sounds like a great idea. The timing works out.
All right, both looking good. Anil, it looks like you've got that crew lock bag out of the NTA, and Sophie, it looks like you're about to grab the medium ORU bag as well. How are you guys feeling?
It is on my BRT. I'm about to do a final check before heading back to the airlock.
Okay, copy. And for future reference, as you go down, if you want to give us any words on the forward or the aft translation paths, I know there was a lot of discussion as we were planning the CBA because we haven't had a lot of people do it. So if you have any thoughts on your way down, we'd take them.
All right, let me wait before, and I'll give you the information.
On the seat of spur.
Hop on the seat of spur.
And the suggestion was I temp stow the bag, Sophie puts them away, and I head out to the APFR.
And Anil, can you tell us where you temp stowed that?
Oh, it was a question. Well, the question was, were you suggesting, Sophie, I temp stow it on the circular handrail or ring, and then Sophie puts them inside the airlock, and then I head to the APFR, we both temp stow.
Yes, that
outside
that was,
the airlock.
If that works for you guys, you can temp stow. You can temp stow the crew lock bag right there at the circular handrail or somewhere in that area, and then go forward on ESP2. Sophie has just headed that way with the medium ORU bag, and she can stow both bags inside of the airlock.
Are you good with that plan?
Yeah. I have a little gun sleep right now because I'm working on my translation. But
it's okay. Anne can repeat it when you get here.
Yeah.
And Sophie, you came down the forward side of Z1, is that correct?
Yes, because the antenna was on the aft side, and so now I'm still working on it.
Okay, yeah, so you'll come down, as you get down to the bottom there, you'll see 6024 and then WIF 9, and at that point you could either kind of reach over to the high-pressure gas tanks, or you can go more zenith, and you'll see handrail 6005, and you can get the high-pressure gas tanks from there.
I have 6024 in hand. Just
Okay.
as ORU bag is a giant thing.
Yeah, so 6042, getting down to 6052, you can either go, or sorry, you said 6024. So from there, you can kind of go starboard to the gas tank, or if you go down nadir to 6005, then it's a little bit of a shorter reach over to the gas tanks.
I'm trying that.
And the crew lock brake temp stowed forward part of the circular handrail.
Copy temp stow. So you are going to translate to ESP2 F4, which is the one that you passed before. That's on the most starboard side of the forward side of ESP2.
Okay.
And Sophie, that part you're in right now is
Okay.
is
I'm
one of
gonna
the
go
trickier
back
parts.
out. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go back out.
Okay. If you want to go back up to
the aft side.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to go right back up, you'll go up, you'll hit 6039, and then on the triangle on the forward side is handrail 6041, and then from there it's where you were before. And if you get into position kind of almost where you were in the handoff, from the aft side of that triangle over to the handrail that's below the trunnion pin is a pretty close reach. Yep, nicely done. So from the...
I'm over the triangle, just
Yeah, so that in your left hand is 6040. If you reach from that down below the trunnion pin, you'll see handrail 6003, and that'll take you right down the aft path.
Yeah, just need to take a second to put my tethers in front of my feet.
Good call. Slow and careful.
Actually, they're good. Okay, mindful also about the antenna.
Yep, nicely done. You'll go 603, 6003, 2, 1, and then you'll be able to reach across.
This antenna, it's between the antenna and the satellite, it's kind of tight here. But
Yeah.
teamwork.
That's super helpful information to see that forward path. We'll take your words on that tomorrow.
This is Mission Control Houston, 5 hours and 47 minutes into today's spacewalk. Anil Menon and Sophie Adenot are making their way back toward the Quest airlock. The work all but complete for the day, except for some cleanup work that the two spacewalkers are involved in. The failed space-to-ground antenna, the SCANT-2, was removed from its boom on the Z1 truss of the International Space Station and tied down in what is known as a long-duration tie-down with tethers by the Z1 truss where it resided. However, time ran out on the clock that would have enabled the two spacewalkers to retrieve a spare space-to-ground antenna from a stowage platform out on the port side of the truss structure of the International Space Station to install it on the now empty boom that the failed antenna occupied for all the years that it provided its service. So that work will be deferred to another spacewalk. We will determine through a series of meetings what the priorities are for dispositioning the completion of the space-to-ground antenna spare installation. It will be conducted, it's just a matter of when, and other work yet to be determined in the next spacewalk that is tentatively scheduled and actually targeted for next Tuesday, August 25th.
Boxes. Can I see your tethers, Anil?
This was the second spacewalk for Anil Menon. He ventured outside back on August 6th with Jessica Meir to complete the construction of the bracket platform upon which the final IROSA, or ISS Rollout Solar Array, will be installed after it is delivered to the space station later this year on a SpaceX resupply mission.
Yeah, I remember that from the...
So Menon is in the home stretch of the second spacewalk of his career. This was the first spacewalk for Sophie Adenot of the European Space Agency, the first spacewalk by a French woman in history. And again, the determination of the priorities for the upcoming targeted spacewalk for next Tuesday, along with determining when we will complete the installation of the spare space-to-ground antenna, which we could not get to today when time ran out. The two spacewalkers simply ran into a longer than expected amount of work to disconnect electrical connectors and to remove bolts holding the failed space-to-ground antenna in place. So as we approach the 6-hour mark in the spacewalk, the two spacewalkers soon will be making their way back inside the Quest airlock. You see them right there at the hatchway to Quest. They will close the hatch, and the end of the spacewalk will be officially marked with its elapsed time at the point that the repressurization of the spacewalk of the Quest airlock begins.
Anil, question for you when you came off the port seat cart. Did you happen to tap the brake pedals?
Did not.
Copy.
I'm sorry, I thought about it, but I thought...
That's okay, that's on us. That's on us. But we might have bought you a free translation to the port seat cart and back. So after you stow the APFR, we will have you go tap that twice, please.
Win for me.
Anil, your tethers look good. It's not in my way, so opening the thermal hatch now.
Okay, sounds good. I'm heading down.
Thermal cover, sorry.
So once again, to recap, the failed space-to-ground antenna was removed, albeit with a longer period of time to disconnect electrical connectors and remove bolts holding the failed antenna in place on the Z1 truss. It is now in a safe configuration, securely tied down to the truss on the International Space Station. Ultimately, it will be moved to the external stowage platform number 3 on the port truss of the International Space Station. That slot is currently occupied by the spare space-to-ground antenna that was first delivered to the International Space Station on the STS-127 mission in the summer of 2009. Time ran out for the 2 spacewalkers to be able to accomplish that task today. It will be deferred to a future spacewalk. The next spacewalk is scheduled for next Tuesday, August 25th. Whether or not the space-to-ground antenna installation of the spare makes it to that spacewalk next Tuesday or not is going to be the subject of some discussions over the next several hours.
11, I'm going to just get situated and then I'll be ready for those settings.
Copy. And Sophie, you are go to open the thermal cover when you need to.
Yeah, I just verbalized it. Did you get it? Like, it was like 5 minutes ago?
We see that now. Yep.
Okay, great news. And then you will see your tethers. Now you're going aft.
Ready for those settings, Van?
Your settings are 12, Papa Papa, Fox 9. 12, Papa Papa, Fox 9.
Oh, Papa Papa, Fox 9, got it.
The bags are bundled together and ready to my BRT rep.
Okay, we copy the bags are ready together, and you'll go to transfer those in the airlock.
Uh-huh. Read my load path to station. Right. Base tether is small hook gate close lock back on black. Large hook gate close lock back on black. On the airlock waist tether, gate close lock black on black for the big hook, and small hook gate close lock black and black as well. So I have a good load path to station, and I'm retrieving my local from the and going back in.
Okay, we concur that that is a good load path.
Okay, 12 Papa Foxtrot.
Copy, 12 Papa Papa Fox 9.
Twist. Off depressible, blocking color, black on black.
Copy, good calls. You are go to translate to the port seat cart, and Sophie, we see you about to get in the airlock. You might want to pause there and take a view. It's going to be a little bit before you're back. But nicely done. Okay, Ed and Neil, before you start your translation, we'll take a glove and a hap check, and then we'll send you back out there.
Okay. Anything I can help with, Anil?
I'm in a good spot. Right glove, right index finger has a few small remarks. And looks nominal.
And copy for Neil, thanks.
And for some pretty small, some small dark spots in not bigger than a fingernail. And there's also another on the left thumb. Really, just.
Okay, we copy, Sophie. Your comms are coming in a little bit broken, so we didn't quite catch that.
Some for the gloves, I can observe is dark markings on the fingertips of both hands.
Okay, we copy, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'm headed to the feeder cart.
Copy, we appreciate your extra work and overtime today.
Oh, any day.
This is Mission Control Houston. We've just passed the 6-hour mark in today's spacewalk. Neil Menon and Sophie Adenot soon will be back inside the crew lock section of the 2-compartment Quest airlock. They will close the hatch behind them and begin the repressurization of the airlock to mark the end of today's spacewalk, highlighted by the removal of a failed space-to-ground communications antenna. Although time did not permit the installation of a spare that continues to reside on a spare parts platform on the port truss of the International Space Station, that work to be deferred to a future spacewalk.
Hitting the brakes on the outboard side, right? Inboard.
Yes, that pedal that's right in front of you, that's correct. 2 pumps a day keeps the myrrh away.
Pumped it.
Unfortunately, on this one, the myrrh won.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, unfortunately, go back and do it again.
We appreciate that.
I don't
so,
mind.
Neil, with that, you are going to return to the airlock, and Sophie, you're going to ingress the airlock.
Once the airlock repressurization begins and we stop the clock, we'll give you the official time for the elapsed time of today's excursion and other statistics associated with today's spacewalk. We will continue our coverage through the time that the crew is back inside the airlock and has doffed its helmets.
At the end of the feeder spur.
Copy. And Sophie has her good load pass into the airlock and bags in the airlock. So as you get down, once you get her go, you retrieve anchor hook.
Bag 1 and 2 are in the airlock.
All right, Ann, I'm going to verbalize everything so I get this last part right, okay?
Copy. We'll take it. Let me know if you'd like any steps.
All right. My load pass is through forward anchor hook, so I believe Sophie's got a load pass to station, so I believe I'm go to take off the aft airlock D-ring, which is her anchor hook, EV2, and put that on my red reel.
And Neil, we concur with that plan.
Sophie?
Yes, I concur. I prepared all the bags really aft so that you can ingress. Really port.
Your anchor hook is on EV1's red reel, closed lock, black on black. Now I have a load pass through you, Sophie.
Yes.
So I'm going to pick up my anchor hook and put it on my NWS.
We concur.
Agree?
Yeah, concur.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and ingress now.
Copy. Copy, you go to ingress, and if you want an end effector on your thermal cover, you can.
I'm going to do the feet first ingress, and then come back for the thermal cover.
Okay, and I'm ready to guide your feet.
Okay, I'm going for the thermal cover here.
Mm-hmm.
Copy, you can close the airlock thermal cover, and we'll be attaching the integral strap to the magnetic plate D-ring and cinching until snug.
So the crew back inside the Quest airlock, closing the outer thermal cover.
And
That'll be followed by closing the hatch itself to the crew lock section of Quest.
Cover is closed. I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do the strap now.
Mm-hmm.
And once you have the strap cinched, we'll take the number of Sharpie lines visible, expecting 6.
Okay, the map is on, and I'm pinching it.
Okay, I'm pulling your feet towards.
6 Sharpies.
Copy, 6 Sharpies. You are both go to remove the SCU from the stowage pouches, remove your DCM cover, and connect your SCU to DCM and check locked.
Copy.
And Anil, if you could turn your HECA off, please.
Is off.
As you work your SCUs, just a note on the water that comes out of the SCUs, reminder that the station water is a little bit warmer than what your plus gives you, and so you may want to turn down your cooling to a higher number if you need it.
Okay. And leave mine at current setting.
EV1's SCU on.
EV2 SCU on. Connected.
Copy. SCU for EV1 and 2 are connected. We are in the pre-repress cue card. You can now switch your water to off OFF.
EV1, water is off.
EV2, water is off.
Copy. And we have a 2-minute wait here. Today definitely showed how well you guys can adapt. The strength of the plan is in the planning. And while we did a lot of things that were not on the nominal timeline, we did nothing today that we had not already planned for. Your ability to adapt and change to the plan is what made today successful. So thank you.
And if it's, for the team, we went into this with a mindset of we wanted it all to go perfectly, and I think that's a great winning attitude. Things were a lot different than expected, but I would say that what I'm really impressed with is that all of those contingencies were well thought out, and I heard those plans by the ground team, Sandy Fletcher, Chris Dobbins, Lucas, the whole team had thought through all those scenarios. And I think that the success of today really rests to you all there and MCC and everyone who put in some work planning this, because you really thought through everything, and I felt like we always had a clear pathway ahead, and I had even heard that pathway and studied it, so thank you all for that, and I'm just so grateful to work with you all today. And Sophie, if you'd like to add anything, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, what a day. I concur with everything you said. I would say that my deepest gratitude goes to everyone who made this possible, pioneers who came before us, but also the incredible teams working behind the scenes today. In this preparation, like being ready for the unknown, took a whole amount of people to be able to think everything through. And in the end, although it was a lot of unknown and unplanned, in the end, everything was rehearsed and prepared. So well done. I would like also to thank you, Anil, for not only being an awesome EV1, but also a great friend. Jessica, Jack, thank you for helping us getting ready, paying attention to every detail that counts for such a big adventure. And finally, to everyone in Houston who made today's EVA a success, thank you. Because yes, even if we had a lot of unplanned things, it is a success. We are safe and the hardware is safe. You make us fly, you keep us safe, and you make moments like this possible. And finally, a very special thank you to you, Anne. From the very beginning of the preparation to every minute of today's EVA, your calm voice was always there to guide us. You are simply outstanding, so thank you.
Anil, Sophie, Jack, and Jess, Dobbins, I just wanted to say really quick, great job today. I know that it wasn't necessarily the result we were hoping for in the morning, but I really appreciated your perseverance and resilience throughout the day. Thank you for being prepared for all of the next worst failures, since I feel like we dealt with all of them for the first half of this EVA, and appreciate you working as a team, both with each other, the four of you, and with us. Without that, Escant would have been in a worse configuration than it is. We'll get back out there and finish this up sometime, hopefully before at least one of you comes home.
Okay, for Neil.
Thank you, Chris.
And Anil, you are go to close the hatch, verify that the outer hatch is clear of hardware, and the handle position is per the decal, and you can close and lock the hatch.
Position per decal.
With that, a round of congratulations from our two spacewalkers, Anil Menon and Sophie Adenot. Menon wrapping up his second spacewalk in just 12 days. For Sophie Adenot, the first French woman to walk in space, this was her first spacewalk of her career. And the lead flight director for this spacewalk, Chris Dobbins, acknowledging the work that the crew did out there, especially when the crew fell behind due to difficulty demating some of the electrical connectors on the failed space-to-ground antenna, and working with some of the bolts that were bulky throughout the course of today's spacewalk. The failed antenna was removed, and it was left outside in what is called a long-duration tie-down configuration, safely on the truss in a good config. The work yet to be conducted will be the installation of a spare space-to-ground antenna that will be on an upcoming spacewalk that will restore full redundancy to the high data rate communications capability on the International Space Station.
Sometimes an end effector on that handrail helps.
I thought maybe my arms were long enough to reach the hatch key, but I needed the anchor hook. In any case, the hatch is down.
Menen and Adeno are in the process of configuring their suits to airlock systems before the repressurization of the Quest airlock begins to mark the official end of today's spacewalk.
Seconds from a 20-second handover.
Right.
We got S-band again. You can repeat it now.
Hatch is locked. The locking mechanism is in place.
Okay, I confirm, Houston confirms that the EV hatch is closed and locked. With that, I'll pass you off to the dream team of Jack and Jessica.
All right, it's great to have all of Expedition 75 back inside the hull of ISS again, and we just got a few minutes to get you guys at the same pressure. Sophie, if you're ready, on the UIA, check that the oxygen EMU 1 and 2 valves, two of them, are open.
Oxygen EMU 1 and 2 valves are open.
All right, take the power for EV1 and 2 switches, there's two of them, and take that to on, ON.
And work? Power EV1 and 2 on, ON. Good green LED.
The ON and 2 LEDs, can you verify the voltmeters on 1 and 2 for me?
18.8 and 18.6.
So that's great. EV1 and EV1 only, take your power switch to SCU. Expect a warning tone.
EV1, pushing
Contact?
Got you. I'm on SCU.
It sounds good. EV2, you can now take your power switch to SCU.
EV2. Power to SCU.
Both EV1 and EV2 are on SCU power. All right, for both EV1 and EV2, take your O2 actuators to press.
Okay.
Please verify on the DCM that it does say O2 position to press.
EV2 press.
The EV2 and press.
EV1 press.
Right, EV1 press. We copy both EV1 and 2 in press. Awesome. Anil, would you check that the EV hatch MPEV is in the closed position?
MPEV is closed.
All right, we are going to take the IV hatch equalization valve to start the repress. You guys should get an alert tone as we start.
Okay.
And Anil, Houston, I'm acting as Capcom now. Can you verify your O2 actuator is in press?
Verifying. It was off a little bit. Yes, it's now in press.
Houston copies.
Can you go down the rate?
Going down the rate.
This is Mission Control Houston. The repressurization of the Quest airlock is now underway. The official end time for today's spacewalk, 1:52 p.m. Central Time, 2:52 p.m. Eastern Time, giving us an elapsed time of 6 hours and 23 minutes for today's spacewalk. Again, today's spacewalk ending at 1:52 p.m. Central Time, 2:52 p.m. Eastern Time, for an elapsed time of 6 hours and 23 minutes. With the repressurization of Quest underway, we will now gather some additional statistics and have those for you momentarily.
We're passing up through 2 PSI on our way to 5.
Copy.
passing through 3.5 PSI on our way to 5. You guys might get an alert tone at 4.
This is Mission Control Houston. The repressurization of the Quest airlock well underway, approaching 5 pounds per square inch of pressure. It'll get up to about 14.7 psi, and that will then set the stage for the opening of the hatch, separating the crew lock, in which Anil Menon and Sophie Adenot are located, and the equipment lock, where you see Jack Hathaway. He'll be joined by Jessica Meir as they help the two spacewalkers out of their extravehicular mobility units. The spacewalk today was the 282nd spacewalk in support of space station assembly maintenance and upgrades, the 5th spacewalk out of the ISS this year, the 2nd for Expedition 75. This was the 2nd spacewalk for Anil Menon. He now has a total of 12 hours and 50 minutes of spacewalking time. For Sophie Adenot, this was the first spacewalk for her and the first spacewalk by a French woman, 6 hours and 23 minutes. The spacewalk, by the way, began at 7:29 a.m. Central Time, 8:29 a.m. Eastern Time, and ended just a few minutes ago at 1:52 p.m. Central, 2:52 p.m. Eastern Time. The 282 spacewalks in support of space station operations have now totaled 1,786 hours and 44 minutes. That is the equivalent of 74 days, 10 hours, and 44 minutes of spacewalking time. And we'll continue with our coverage through the time the crew is back inside the airlock and have doffed their helmets. The two spacewalkers removed a failed space-to-ground antenna from a boom on the Z1 truss of the International Space Station, but in doing so, ran behind the timeline because of some difficulty with electrical connectors and stubborn bolts. That resulted in the crew running out of time to be able to retrieve a spare space-to-ground antenna for its installation on the boom on the Z1 truss. So that other portion of today's major objective will be deferred to a future spacewalk.
Welcome to 5 PSI. I've paused it, and we're going to pause for 2 minutes, allow the pressure stabilize before we do a 1 minute leak check.
Copy.
Copy.
And the repressurization of the Quest airlock paused momentarily at 5 pounds per square inch. It will resume shortly and bring the crew lock section back to equalization with the equipment lock.
That's our 2 minutes. Pressure's holding at 258. We got 1 minute for the leak check. That is our minute wait, and the pressure is held steady, so that's a good leak check.
All right.
EV1 and EV2, will you check your gloves? Heater switches are in off, OFF position.
One is off.
And 2 is off.
All right, copy. Glove heaters are off, OFF for EV1 and EV2. Next, check your gloves for any contamination. I know you guys gave a glove report earlier. Is there anything you guys are worried about?
Nothing worried about for EV1.
Nothing I'm worried about for EV2.
All right, copy. Sounds good. For step 9 into step 10, both EV1 and EV2, take your O2 actuators to IV.
Good work.
Good work.
One's an IV.
2 IV.
Great work, guys. I hear EV1 and EV2 O2 actuators and IV. All right, next up, I'm going to take the equalization valve back up to start repressing, and we'll continue at the nice slow rate we've been at.
Thank you.
One copy.
And airlock Houston We just want to let you know that if there's any symptoms that the EV crew has, and as Anil and Sophie, as you repress, if there's anything that seems to resolve that could be considered a symptom, like a cup 1 symptom, upon repress, please report it to Jack and to us, and then we'll change actions going forward. But just wanted you to stay aware.
Yeah.
Okay.
Happy with this repress rate? If you guys are, just want to give you the heads up that it will be about 20, 25 minutes to get to stack pressure.
Okay. I think I'm happy with this rate. Sorry, Anil.
No problem. I don't have anywhere to go. I got 8 more months here.
I'm sure you would love to go outside again.
Nice.
The repressurization of the Quest airlock is continuing. This should take a few more minutes to complete, at which point the hatch between the crew lock, where the 2 spacewalkers are located just beyond that hatch, and the equipment lock will be open, and Menen and Adenot will be helped inside to their respective locations on either side of the equipment lock walls to be assisted with the removal of their helmets and gloves. The spacewalk ended at 1:52 p.m. Central, 2:52 p.m. Eastern Time, with an elapsed time of 6 hours and 23 minutes for today's spacewalk, which saw a failed space-to-ground antenna removed and stowed on the truss of the International Space Station, setting the stage for the retrieval and installation of a spare space-to-ground antenna on a future spacewalk. This is Mission Control Houston. Once again, monitoring the slow and steady repressurization of the Quest airlock. You see Jessica Meir in the equipment lock section of Quest. She and Jack Hathaway awaiting the full repressurization of the crew lock section of Quest so that they can open the hatch and bring the two spacewalkers back inside.
you doing, Sophie?
Yeah, good. Sorry, I think this is really the max rate I can handle.
Oh, no, I'm just checking in, that's all.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for checking in.
Passing 11 and a half PSI, almost 12 PSI, still probably 12 to 15 minutes left.
Okay.
Copy.
This is Mission Control Houston. You're looking at Jack Hathaway at the hatchway of the Quest airlock's equipment lock, separating it from the crew lock section of Quest. As we are almost complete now with the repressurization of the crew lock section of Quest, that will lead to the opening of the hatch and Hathaway and Jessica Meir guiding Anil Menon and Sophie Adenot of the European Space Agency back inside the International Space Station's habitable volume. The 6-hour, 23-minute spacewalk concluded a short time ago. The major objective to remove the failed space-to-ground antenna was completed. That antenna was tied down with a series of tethers to a truss structure near where it resided on the Z1 truss of the station. However, it took longer than expected to undo electrical connectors and bolts holding the failed antenna in place, and the clock ran out on the two spacewalkers, so we did not complete the installation of a spare space-to-ground antenna, which remains on a spare parts platform on the Port 3 truss of the International Space Station. That work will be done on a future spacewalk. This was the second of 3 August spacewalks for Expedition 75. The next one is targeted for next Tuesday, August 25th. That will then in turn lead to the mid-September launch, targeted for September 12th, of the Crew 13 crew on a SpaceX Dragon spacecraft. Crew 13 to be commanded by Jessica Watkins. Associated with that flight, pilot Luke Delaney, Canadian Space Agency astronaut Joshua Kutrick, and Roscosmos cosmonaut Sergei Tetryanikov. The Crew 12 crew will conduct a short number of days of handover with Crew 13 once they arrive on station. And Crew 13, led by Jessica Meir, that you see there in the sweatshirt, along with her pilot, Jack Hathaway, Roscosmos cosmonaut Andrei Fedyaev, and Sophie Adenot, will return to Earth to complete their mission on board the International Space Station.
we get close to stack pressure, the repress rate at this setting is slowing a little bit, so I'm going to move the knob and let me know if it's too much.
Okay.
Joining Hathaway in the equipment lock section of Quest is Roscosmos cosmonaut Anna Kikina, well into the second mission of her career. She launched with Anil Menon and Station Commander Pyotr Dubrov to the International Space Station. They launched on July 14th for the start of an 8-month mission on the International Outpost. We're just moments away from the completion of the repressurization of Quest. The repress has been conducted in a deliberately slow fashion, and once pressure is equalized across the hatchway, that hatch will be opened and the 2 spacewalkers will be back inside the equipment lock. And we're hearing from flight controllers that we expect the repress to be complete about a minute or so from now.
Right, we're passing 740 millimeters on our way to 750. You guys will get alert tone when we level off. right, that looks like equalization, and that's the end of the cue card. We're into 1.240 post-EVA, so we're about to open the hatch.
Hey.
Hathaway now opening the hatch. Jessica Meir and Anna Kikina awaiting the entrance of the two spacewalkers back inside. And the hatch is open.
Then you're go for step 4, reconfiguring public calls.
Houston copies. We'll take it.
Sophie Adenot, the first French woman to fly in space, back inside the equipment lock with a big wave and a big smile.
Station Houston on 1. Just a heads up that we have configured comm back to nominal, and you are no longer hot mic.
Anil Menon back inside the equipment lock, having completed the second spacewalk of his career. Jack Hathaway and Jessica Meir pulling in to the equipment lock some of the gear that Menen and Adenot used during today's 6-hour, 23-minute spacewalk, which ended almost an hour ago. We're in a handover between satellites on our tracking and data relay satellite system. We'll regain our downlink capability from the station through the functional space-to-ground antenna that resides on the Z1 truss of the International Space Station. The other antenna that failed was removed by Menen and Adenot and stowed, tied down in what is called the long-duration tie-down configuration. It was stowed on the truss. The crew ran out of time, however, before it could get to the installation of a spare that resides on the external stowage platform number 3 on the port 3 truss of the complex. This is Mission Control Houston, back inside the equipment lock of the Quest airlock on the International Space Station. Sophie Adenot on the left, Anil Menen partially obscured by a laptop computer on the right. Their helmets now doffed, their work for the day complete. A 6-hour, 23-minute spacewalk to remove a failed space-to-ground antenna from the boom it resided on the Z1 truss of the complex. The installation of a spare that has resided on a spare parts platform on the station since 2009 is forward work that was originally intended to be completed today. It will be deferred to a future spacewalk as officials will gather to determine the exact complement of work that lies ahead for the next scheduled spacewalk that is targeted for this coming Tuesday. In the meantime, the two spacewalkers, Adenot from the European Space Agency and Menen from NASA, their work complete for the day. They completed a 6-hour, 23-minute spacewalk, the 282nd in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. We appreciate your attention throughout the day. Thank you for joining us, and for now, we'll sign off. This is Mission Control Houston.